China's central bank on Tuesday announced a 3-year program for small business support beginning this year.
The central bank first started an online receivables financing platform for small businesses in 2013. By March this year, a total of $233 billion of financing was made by the platform. The figure made up 35% of the financing of small and micro-sized businesses. As part of the new 3-year program, training courses and intensified policy support for financing will be provided. China sees small enterprises as key for job creation.
China has integrated Guangxi-Zhuang Autonomous Region and its 14 prefecture-level cities into the National Health Insurance Inter-Province System. This allows patients insured in other provinces can receive medical treatment in Guangxi and be immediately reimbursed. China Report has the story.
80-year-old retiree Zhang Zhenbei lives with his children in Nanning, capital city of Guangxi-Zhuang Autonomous Region. Before he retired here, he worked at a state-owned enterprise in Hainan province. Earlier this month, Zhang underwent a cataract surgery in the first affiliated hospital of Guangxi Medical University. But because his health insurance was bought in Hainan, getting reimbursements was difficult.
I bought health insurance in Hainan and received medical service in Guangxi. What did I do in the past? I received hospitalization here and paid with my own money. After that, I gathered all the paperwork and got reimbursed when I returned to Hainan. It was so tiring, and I consider myself too old to go through all these complicated procedures.
But now that China's national health insurance inter-province settlement system has spread to Guangxi province, Zhang's health insurance can be reimbursed right here in Nanning.
My burden was released, and I don't have to travel the long distance. I just hand in my medical insurance card, and I don't have to worry about how much I should pay for the service. It was really convenient.
In March, Guangxi completed a trial period of exchange with Shandong, Anhui, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Heilongjiang provinces and Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Now, 65 medical institutions in Guangxi have joined the national system.
The most convenient thing is that people don't have to travel long distances to go through all the procedures. An insured person just needs to pay his share, and the rest, which can be covered by the insurance, is left to the settlement system.
Guangxi Social Security Bureau will work on the inter-province system at county-level hospitals later this year. This will mean people from other provinces who receive medical service in Guangxi will access better reimbursement services by the end of 2017.
China and Nigeria have discussed strategies for improving agricultural cooperation.
The China-Nigeria Agricultural Modernization Cooperation Forum 2017 was held on Tuesday, promoting discussion on ways China can help Nigeria to improve its agricultural economy. Chinese ambassador in Nigeria, Zhou Pingjian, said China is ready to share experience in agricultural development with its close partner.
As a strategic partner of Nigeria, China stands ready to share its experience in agricultural development with Nigeria and provide financial and technical support to assist Nigeria achieve agricultural transformation and food security. We are willing to work with the Nigeria side to provide a more effective platform to mobilize more Chinese investment in Nigeria's green alternative.
The ambassador noted agricultural modernization is one of the 10 cooperation plans that China has been implementing with African countries since the 2015 Forum on China-African Cooperation Summit. An official from the Nigerian Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said the country has benefited from its relations with China.
China's agricultural growth is impressive and offers lessons for African countries. China pulled over 400 million people out of poverty within 10 years. It did largely through transformation of its agricultural sector.
Agriculture currently accounts for 23% of Nigeria's GDP and provides jobs for 38% of its working population. The country is projected to become a net exporter of key agricultural products such as rice, cashew nuts, groundnuts, cassava, and vegetable oil by 2020. Between 2002 and 2014, China and Nigeria implemented 2 phases of a program outlined under China-Nigerian South-South Agricultural Cooperation. China has also provided many training opportunities to Nigerian agricultural officials and technical staff to help develop their skills.
China has signed cooperation agreements with 14 international organizations for aid programs proposed at the just concluded Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation.
Heads of the 14 international organizations praised the Belt and Road Forum's success and China's support for multilateralism and globalization. They expressed their willingness to enhance cooperation with China to jointly promote the Belt and Road Initiative and realize the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. China says it will provide 60 billion yuan, or about $8.7 billion, over the next 3 years towards developing countries and international organizations participating in the Belt and Road Initiative. China will provide emergency food aid worth $291 million to developing countries along the Belt and Road. It will also make an additional contribution of $1 billion to the Assistance Fund for South-South Cooperation. China has announced the approval of a Bond Connect program between the mainland and Hong Kong. According to a joint statement from the People's Bank of China and Hong Kong Monetary Authority, investors on both sides will be able to trade bonds on each other's markets. Northbound trade will be launched first without caps on investment volume. The program is expected to reinforce and improve Hong Kong's role as an international financial center, help China's financial opening up, and contributing to Hong Kong's long-term prosperity and stability. The launch date remains subject to further notice. Necno has launched a new smartphone as part of a bid to shore up its market in East Africa. The company is already popular in all Ethiopia's major cities, with their phones praised for relative affordability and sturdiness. Now, the company is launching its latest Calman CX smartphones with a promotional tour in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa.
By back and front 16 megapixels, and the most one is it have 7 Android, 7.0 Android, and it have octa-core process. It's the most high process. It supports 4G network.
Andrew Lee, a manager from Techno Ethiopia, explains how the firm can sell a smartphone for $215.
The Calman CX is the best cell phone smartphone in Ethiopia. So this is the best. And then for the price, we give customer it's very fair price. For the retail price, it's 4,900 birr in Ethiopia. It's very affordable.
Techno has sold around 25 million mobile devices, including 9 million smartphones in 2015. It hopes the latest launch will help keep its most popular brand status in Ethiopia and improve its market share across Africa.
New data published by the United Nations World Tourism Organization showed that spending by Chinese tourists abroad rose by 12% in 2016.
According to the UNWTO, Chinese tourists spent about $260 billion abroad last year, up $11 billion in 2015. Chinese outbound tourism has grown by at least 10% for the past 13 years, and it has been the biggest source of tourists since 2012. John Castor is a coordinator for tourism trends and market strategies of the UNWTO. He said almost $1 in $5 spent around the world on international tourism comes from Chinese pockets.
According to the latest data that we have recently published, last year Chinese altogether spent $261 billion on travel abroad. That's for all reasons. That's for reasons of leisure, that's for reasons of business, that's for reasons of education, etc. And with that, they are another time number one in spending, and it also means that almost $1 in $5 spent around the world on international tourism nowadays is spent by Chinese.
To me, it has not been a real evolution. To me, it has been a real revolution, if I may say so, because if you can recall that the Chinese outbound tourism, when they started with such a small volume. It was unknown to the rest of the world. But if you compare those years with now,
Xu said the main reason for the growth is the sustained economic growth in China, and as economic growth in China promotes international tourism from China is promoting sustainable growth elsewhere.
if we look at the job creation part, especially for the Chinese, nowadays we are still looking at a very high percentage of its market going to ASEAN countries like Thailand, like Cambodia, like Laos. This certainly has contributed socially to the welfare of those countries.
Well, Chinese travelers altogether spent a very handsome amount of money outside of the country, and that directly translates in employment for people working in the tourism sector, in lodging, in food, in shopping, in handicraft, and all those trades thrive because of Chinese travelers.
2017 is a year of sustainable tourism for development, with Chinese tourists rapidly moving into niche markets around the world, such as rural tourism, shopping and gastronomy.
Airlift is very important, but the visa thing is also very important. And what we see now more and more countries that make visa facilitation for Chinese much easier. Some countries have exempt visa for Chinese overall. Many countries are now introducing schemes of visa upon arrival or e-visa, where it's much easier to obtain a visa.
Popular destinations for Chinese tourists include Japan, Thailand, the US, and Europe.
Yaks are synonymous with the snowy peaks and high plains of the Tibet Autonomous Region in southwest China. Now, a one-of-its-kind museum is drawing in visitors dedicated to the animal and its close links with people.
The motto on the museum's wall interprets the significance of the animals to people.
The first part of the motto can be translated as, "The yaks are the existential foundation of the Tibetan people," and the latter is an old saying in the north part of Tibet, which is usually translated into, "Where there are Tibetan people, there are yaks."
Having been domesticated for thousands of years on the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, yaks are the most important animals to Tibetan families. This one animal provides a source of meat, milk, fibre and fuel for fires. They are easily kept as pack animals. The museum focuses on the origin and domestication of yaks and yak-themed artworks.
In this museum, we tend to express the modern through the Tibetan traditions. And these are the heads of the yaks, which were raised in farms. The Tibetan people have domesticated the yaks, and the yaks have also become essential to the livelihood of locals.
Now 63, Wu worked 16 years in his youth on the Tibetan pastures. In 2011, with only 3 years left to retire, he decided to make a full return to Tibet and to build a yak museum dedicated to the Tibetan people and its culture.
41 years ago, I came to Tibet for the first time and lived in a pasturing area for a while. The relationships between the herdsmen and the yaks touched me so much that it has lingered for years. A yak even saved my life once for bringing the food at a crucial moment after heavy snow. Therefore, I always remember the special period of my life in Tibet after I came back to Beijing.
Across the museum, there are more than 2,600 items on display in 4 different showrooms. Together, they show the basic needs of the locals' daily lives and yak-related artifacts and artworks. Half the collection came from voluntary donations from people, including herdsmen, monks, scholars and collectors.
During our study here, we came across some pilgrims. They had been traveled to Lhasa with the most devoted way of worshipping, which is praying all along and groveling onto the ground when every step was made. I asked them if it is okay for them to give me their aprons, which are made of the yak hide, as I explained my intentions of the collections. They gave it to me right away. The collections in the museum aren't actually worth that much, but the symbolic meaning showing the bond between the Tibetan people and the yaks is beyond the price.
Yaks are often called the boat of the plateau by the locals. At these high altitudes, they are often the most effective way to carry equipment needed to take on Mount Kwama Longma.
Many mountaineers have said that yaks are the main way of large transportation to the advanced base camp, which lies at an elevation of about 6,500 meters. The human race could have not successfully reached the summit if there were no yaks to help with the supplies.
Tents, which are made out of yak hair and feces, are orderly stacked, along with bowls, boxes and different tools.
For the past few years, I have devoted myself to promoting the Tibetan traditions and culture to the public. I hope more and more people would be interested in yaks.
Since its opening in 2014, the museum has received more than 80,000 visitors from home and abroad.
The legendary story of Faust has returned to its native home in Germany, only this tour has been given a Peking opera twist. Take a look.
Faust opened in the western city of Wiesbaden on Wednesday, beginning its tour of Germany. Co-produced by China National Peking Opera Company and Italy's Emilia-Romagna Theatre Foundation, the play is being performed as part of the International May Festival, a world-famous traditional theatre festival. The story comes from the Western masterpiece, Faust, written by Johann Wolfgang Goethe more than 200 years ago. This version combines music, vocal performance, mime, dance and acrobatics in a creative blend between Western classic and Oriental culture. Since its debut in 2015, the opera has been staged over 70 times. And now the opera has been added to this year's German-Chinese cultural programme. After Wiesbaden, Faust will go on to be staged in several other cities, including Duisburg, Kassel, Saarlouis, and runs until the end of May.
The Belt and Road Initiative, comprising the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, was first proposed by China in 2013. It is a grand trade and infrastructure plan to connect Asia with Europe and Africa along the routes of ancient Silk Roads. To see how this scheme is affecting people at a local level, CNC talked to a number of people around the world and asked them how the Belt and Road had changed their lives.
My name is James Koyej. I am 31 years old. I am working in Nairobi New South Station as safety officer. For the last 2 years, I have been working to work 1 hour every day, but I never feel tired. My work is to make sure that there is safety during construction of the new railway line that link our capital city of Nairobi to our harbour city of Mombasa. I have learned a lot of skills from my work, and now I can say I am an expert in safety aspects. I live alone in Nairobi in a rental house, but my wife and my baby live in my village at a small house I built after getting this job. We are not expecting only the new railway to make transportation easier, but we are expecting many other changes in our country, and we are expecting the new generation to benefit from it. I am proud to be part of this construction. When the railway is complete, I will take my family to Mombasa to see the ocean and beach, because they have never been there before, and I am sure they will be happy.
My name is Niling Bahuli.
I work in sales in Vivo communication company. Before this job, I worked in retail industry but gained insufficient income. However, I have earned more after working in Vivo communication. My income also suffices my daily needs. I can also help with my parents. For the future, I will work harder and strive to ascend the career ladder. Thank you, Vivo.
By the name of Almighty Allah, my name is Najibullah Ali. I am Manager Assistant in China Relations Group Corporation Afghanistan branch. Now I am walking on the way to the working site, China Aid Project of National Technical Communication Institute of Afghanistan. We Afghan people suffered several decades of war in our country. Our country and our people need a huge demand of the workers and technicians for reconstruction and development of our country. Several years ago I was jobless and I was seeking for a job for several years. Fortunately, 2005, 12 years ago, I joined China Relations Group Corporation. From that time till now, my lifestyle, character and working knowledge changed a lot. And I find the only way to have a better life is working hard and honestly. This institute aided by the People's Republic of China. And after the completion of this project, this institute will graduate a lot of students, the professional students, that they can build by themselves our country and develop our country. God bless us all.
我是李宁。
My name is Li Ning. I'm on my way to teach at the Dar Al Tarbiya Middle School. I've been working there for almost 2 years now. Dar Al Tarbiya is one of the collaborative schools with Confucius School from China, and I'm the first Chinese teacher sent there. I used to teach a martial. Now here, not only that, I also teach Chinese and calligraphy. At first, the kids here know little things about China except Jackie Chan, but now they learn to talk and communicate in Chinese, as well as some Chinese culture. They showed great interest in China. They would often tell me how good they are each time when they talk to Chinese visitors on the street. I'm proud of them and hope they would have outstanding achievements in the future with Chinese they've learned.
他们能够因为汉语而与众不同。
我是桃子。 我现在去我自己开的格鲁吉亚葡萄酒文化体验。
I am Chen Jietao.
我以前在电视台工作了12年。
I opened this shop after quitting a 12-year job at a local TV station. I'm promoting Georgian wine because I fell in love with this country at the first sight when I traveled there. Its wine and tourist resources are wonderful. I would love to share with others the things I love. So I decided to start my new career in Georgia. Instead of simply selling wine, what I'm really doing is actually promoting the tourism of Georgia. Now, very few Chinese people know about this country. So I want to tell people my story with Georgia. I think it's a huge satisfaction to share with people the things you truly love. I'm living in Guangzhou City in South China, a sister city of Georgian capital Tbilisi. And since the Belt and Road Initiative was proposed, Georgia has opened its arms even wider to the Chinese people and Chinese market. I think I have all the favorable conditions on my side, and I'm totally confident with my new career with Georgia. The Belt and Road Initiative sounds huge, but it's also practical in my case, as it makes us known to other cultures, just like the Asian Silk Road.
也是通过这种丝绸之路，让他们知道有中国这个地方。
This is Little Chinese Channel, 小小中文 Lesson 10. In this lesson, we will be teaching you these 6 Chinese characters. From our last lesson, we learned the character qi. If we change this horizontal stroke with 2 strokes like this character is 也. means also or too. 我也是我也是我也是我也是 means me too. 也 is the building block of these two characters. If we take these strokes away and leave this long stroke that looks like a tail and add 3 strokes like this. This character is ba, ba, ba means to hope. Ba wang, ba wang, ba wang, ba wang means to hope. These 2 characters contain ba. Next, we'll learn a new root character. What's this? Shi means corpse. 尸体 is a lifeless body. If we take 尸 and put a dot on top, this character is 户 means household. 户口 means registered residence. If we take 诗 and put a stroke like this, this character is 尺 means ruler. 尺子 is a ruler for measuring. Next, we'll learn a new root character. What's this? Gong means work or labor. 工作 means work. 工人 means labor or worker. Okay, let's write. And remember, you have to follow the stroke sequence. Yeah. Ba. Shi. Hu. Qu. Gong. Bye-bye, the lesson is done.